Good afternoon. This is Sean Golding with Golding and Golding, here to discuss a common issue we see here, even though oftentimes it doesn't apply to taxpayers, which is whether they're under an IRS criminal tax investigation or not. There's a bunch of fear mongering online, depending on what your paranoia level is. Are you a conspiracy theorist in the spirit of Dale Gribble? Right? Do you think if you don't recognize someone somewhere, that car looks like it followed you twice, that you're under criminal tax investigation? Typically, no, but it does happen sometimes. In general, while there's a ton of different types of tax violations, in general, they're civil, right? They're civil in nature. What that means is while the IRS can come after you for monetary penalties, they can try to levy your accounts, seize your accounts or your wages, put a lien on your personal property, or a notice of federal tax lien more specifically. These are monetary in nature, which means that there is no incarceration. Criminal tax investigation, less common. Each year, it's about a few thousand criminal tax cases that they pursue. The idea is the IRS only pursues the criminal tax cases that they think they can win, and they have a super high success rate, which basically puts everyone else on notice that, hey, if the IRS catches you in their crosshairs in a criminal tax scenario, you're going to lose. And that's not always the case, but they have a 80 to 90+% conviction rate. Okay. A criminal tax case is similar to any type of tax case in the sense that it goes to a jury. They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not like you're sitting in a civil audit and they go, oh, we think you committed a crime, so we're gonna throw you in jail for 20 years. It has to go through the same process that a typical criminal case would go through. In terms of types of crimes, the common ones you see is tax evasion, fraud, which doesn't always have to involve taxes, like just making false representations involving documents to the IRS or other government agencies. And then there's ancillary crimes that can impact or kind of in the same common nucleus of fact, like money laundering and things of that nature. Investigative techniques, right? There's many different ways in this high technology world that we live in that the IRS can try to investigate, but oftentimes they still use the five common types of investigative techniques that they've been using for a while, right? First, they can contact your bank, right? They can either do it more formally and request a summons or subpoena. Alternatively, what they can do is more of an informal investigation. Maybe they speak with the bank manager. They do this because they know you, taxpayer, have a good relationship with your bank manager. That bank manager, maybe he or she's in cahoots with you, and they're going to reach out to you, not the IRS, the manager. So then the IRS can kind of figure out what your reaction is. Do you start transferring money and assets? Who do you talk to? Things of that nature. They can interview third parties. And this can get a little bit confusing, right? With the CPA, there is no criminal protection. With an attorney, typically there is. If they go to someone's place of employment, whether they can talk, they can try to talk to whoever they want, but third parties generally don't have to speak with the IRS unless required to, depending on how formal the IRS goes with that regard. They can show up at your home or show up at another location unannounced. And this is something typically they'll do. Special agents tend to work in teams of two. They show up. You're at your home one day, you get a knock on the door, it's two special agents, or you're at the health club doing your fitness, right? Or you are out with buddies, networking event somewhere, and they approach you in the parking lot, they approach you at your home, and the idea is to kind of rattle you, of course, to throw you off and to get you talking. You should never talk, okay? I know you think you're smarter than them, and maybe you are, but 99% of the time, you trying to talk to the agent to talk yourself out of it is you're going to dig a deeper hole. Why? Because you know all the terrible things you may or may not have done, and you don't know what the IRS knows. So by talking, you're giving them ideas, you're feeding them issues that they may have not thought of because they don't have that information. Maybe you thought your scuzzy business partner was going to sell you out, but maybe they didn't. Maybe their attorney told them not to say anything, but you think they did. And so you're trying to talk yourself out of the situation that the IRS doesn't have those facts. If before any of this happens, you're out of compliance, if you're willful or you can't confirm under penalty of perjury that you're non-willful, you do the voluntary disclosure program. If you're non-willful, then there can't really be any sort of criminal tax issue. There's various programs available to assist you. The streamlined procedures, delinquency procedures, and reasonable cause are the three main alternatives. We got a lot of free information available on our main website and our sub-websites. You can always reach out and schedule a reduced fee initial consultation if you think it's appropriate and it's something that we handle here. Again, my name is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.